In the latter part of the 16th century, around 1560, 1570, there was a Danish nobleman named Tycho Brahe, who was a very bright young man. He wanted to study science, and he went to the university there, and at first he wanted to study medicine, but very quickly he became interested in all kinds of science, specifically physics and the motions of the heavens. So as a university student, he became embroiled in a bar fight with a friend, and in the dark he had the bridge of his nose cut off. So he had made a little foil to replace that bridge. It was made of brass, and he probably was very self-conscious about that brass bridge and the scar on his forehead. So as a nobleman, he was bequeathed a castle in Ven, which is an island in Denmark, and set up an observatory where he would watch the motion of the planets and stars and map those as accurately as he could. Well, over time, he developed a really good system for doing this, and even invented his own naked eye observation tools that enabled his precision to be greater than any of his predecessors. So he's there every night on this island of Ven, where he has created this observatory, and he's mapping the position of stars as accurately as he can. Now, in the latter part of his astronomical career, he hires a student named Johannes Kepler, who helps him with his tasks every night. And toward the latter part of his life, Kepler does more and more, becomes more and more involved, and becomes a very brilliant mathematician. So when Tycho Brahe dies, Kepler inherits his notes, 20 years of observational notes. And Tycho Brahe had developed this system that was trying to explain how planets moved among the stars. The name of planets comes from the Latin planetae, which means wanderers, and Tycho, like other observers, noticed that these planetae were wandering among the relatively fixed stars, and he tried to develop an accurate picture of the solar system that would explain those motions that he was seeing. Well, he examined Aristotle's views regarding the geocentric solar system, and they don't match the observational data that you get. Tycho couldn't reconcile what he was seeing with that theory. And so he moved to the Copernican view that the sun is the center of these planetary rotations, but he put the Earth in the center of the entire thing, so that the planets go around the sun and the sun goes around the Earth, which is a very complicated model. It doesn't match the observational data exactly, and over time it gets more and more skewed. So on his death, he was still clueless as to how the real solar system worked. He was very much afraid that he had wasted his time. But thanks to Johannes Kepler, who comes in and takes all this observational data, starts from scratch. He starts to model a heliocentric solar system where the sun is at the center and even the Earth goes around the sun. He quickly disperses with the circular orbits that were imposed on the planets, and he replaces that with ellipses. The ellipses, though, don't work to explain the orbits until he has the planets speeding up and slowing down in their orbits. He has no clue as to why this is happening, and it's going to take Isaac Newton after him to explain why a planet might speed up or slow down. But there's a little piece about how the current picture of the of the solar system came into being.